Hello, my name is Tom. I'll be presenting today's video, Settlement Transaction Summary by Item Report for Communique for Amazon Seller Central, the reporting, analytics, business intelligence, and data mining for your Amazon sales. Let's go to the report overview. The report provides a detailed view of transactions for revenues, fees, and charges from your Amazon settlements. It displays each line item for all transactions related to orders, refunds, and other charges for the date period options selected. It's designed to provide transparency and detailed insight into your revenues, fees, and charges from those settlements. This report's available in both standard and enterprise editions. So let's get started with the transaction summary item by item report. In order to access the report, we need to go to the Settle section and select the transaction summary by item. Here's our report. Now we're going to search for items. Let's go ahead and right mouse click and select the search option. Now we have the data filters. Okay, so we're going to talk about the data filters and how it applies to this particular report. So looking on the left-hand side, we see the date range, and what that does, it limits the items to the date range selected. Down at the bottom, the date options, we have start and deposit, import, and transaction. The start date is the date that the settlement starts. The end date is the end of the settlement. The deposit date is the date that the settlement was sent to your account. The import is the date that the settlement was imported into Communique, and the transaction date is the date that the transaction actually occurred. Now, we select deposit date by default. You can select any date option you like. That's up to you. However, there is something of concern for the transaction date you should be aware of. You can have a situation where you might sell an item on your merchant listings, for example, in April. And for whatever reason, you're not able to get a transaction or a tracking ID up to Amazon until the end of May. And it's likely you don't get paid on that until June. So you can see in this example how that could be a problem. If your transaction date is in April, but your deposit is not until June, you got to stop and think. Most of those transactions that are in June probably occurred at the end of May or the beginning of June, whereas you have this outlier that occurred in April. So this is the problem you can face with using the transaction date instead of deposit date. Okay, so on the right hand side we have data options. You have the ability to be able to search by Amazon order ID, Amazon order item ID. We also have the ignore dates option. We'll get back to that in a minute when we talk about settlements down here. And here at the bottom you have fulfillment type. So you can filter out by the fulfillment type that you want to be able to see. Let's look at the search tabs. The amount description corresponds to this column right here, and these are all the amount descriptions that are found in your settlement files. So if you want to, for example, be able to filter by goodwill and filter by that. Okay, so the products tab allows you to filter by products, and in the settlements tab it lists all settlements and you can filter by those as well. So here's where the ignore date options come in handy. Let's say, for example, you want to look at this settlement right here. And you see that the start date is December 14, 2015. End date is December 28, 2015. Deposit date is December 30th, 2015. You're kind of getting the idea that settlements have an implied date range. So if we're looking at this date range right here for last month and we were to run apply these filters, you would not get any transaction because none of these transactions fall within last month. Here's an example. There you go. You get nothing. Now, if you were to click on ignore dates, it would ignore this over here and list all other transactions for this settlement. We're not going to do that, but you kind of get the idea. Okay, so at this point, we're going to deselect that. Look at the SKUs tab. You can actually add particular SKUs you want to filter by. This also features the ability to be able to import a CSV file that has a list of SKUs. Okay, so let's go and conduct a basic search. Let's go back to the amount description and we'll go to goodwill. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for all goodwill transactions for last month. There are 2. We're going to look for the last 90 days. There are 13. Then we're going to click on the ignore date options right here where you just want a list of all transactions that have goodwill. We found 77. So we sort this by transaction date descending, meaning that the newest one is first and the oldest one is last. So you can see that we go from May 29, 2016 all the way down to January 19, 2015. These are all the goodwill transactions. So from here, if you wanted, you could say, well, let's group this by order number, which since you only have one amount description, it really doesn't do a whole lot for you, but here you go. Simple as that. Or we can come back over here and say, let's group it by SKU. Now you can see all the goodwills by SKU. So we're looking at this one here in particular. It has 3. It's likely on this particular order someone would order 3 of these items and Amazon saw fit to give them a goodwill refund on all 3 of the items they purchased. Here's another one with 2 and another one here with 3. So as you can see by group and by product SKU, you can see which products have the goodwill. And by looking at the order number right here, or the order ID, you can see it's all from the same order. These are all from the same order. These are not. So let's pull this back over here and put the product SKU there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to conduct a new search. And let me reset this so that we start with the defaults. And we're going to come over here and filter by a particular SKU. Okay. And everything looks fine. Apply. Have 68 transactions. So from here, if we wanted to, we could say, well, here are all the transactions for the SKU, and it's based on last month. We have 68 results. If we want to ignore dates, we can apply that. And now we have 375. So you can see how the ignore dates works here. By using last month, we had a smaller set. By using ignore dates, we get all transactions that relate to this particular SKU. So with that in mind, now we can use the order ID and pull it up here, and we can see all items by order. So if we look at, for example, this one right here, there are 8. Most of them have 4. So you're able to group these and see the various different amount descriptions and amount types by order ID. Now let's put order ID back over here. Now what we want to do is we want to say, okay, you know what? Let's do amount type. So by doing amount types, you can look at item fees, item price. Now let's go ahead and do the amount description. There you go. Open this up. So within the item fees, we see commission, refund commission, shipping HB. Within the item price, we see principal and shipping collected. We could further open those up and see all the transactions that go along with that. So as you can see, by looking at every single transaction, the ability to be able to group and ungroup these columns, you have a very flexible way of being able to slice and dice your data and actually take a look at what kind of fees are being charged not only to orders, but also to products, and to be able to get a better understanding of the fees that are being paid. Okay, so let's undo this, and we're going to show you one more feature. So let's do this. Let's do a search. We're going to do reset, and then we want to come over here to amount description, and we want to do FBA weight base fee. And basically, well, we got 2,922. It's quite a few. I believe it's for last month. Okay, so here are our results. So now I want to take a look and make sure, yep, these were all for last month. So what we want to do here essentially is we want to look at all of our let's see, less than or equal to, let's see, 5. There we go. So what we're really looking for here essentially are all FBA-based fee charges that are in excess of $5. As you can see, we have one here for $12.87. That's kind of high. And the idea basically is kind of take a look at this and see which items may or may not be profitable based on this, because obviously the more it weighs, the more it costs, potentially less profit you're making. Okay, so we pretty much described the capabilities and groupings and filtering within the report and how it can help with your accounting and understanding of your settlements. Okay, so for the most part, this includes our lesson for the transaction summary by item report. All right, so to find out more about Communique, contact sales@Alterrium.com. For help with Communique, you can contact tech support at Alterrium.com, or you can visit our forum at communique.vbulletin.net. And this is our web help HTML link. You're welcome to go out there and take a look. So thanks for your time and watching this video. We hope it's been helpful in understanding the benefits of using the transaction summary by item report for your Amazon accounting. Have a nice day.